Okay, let's start off with a visual of my income portfolio. January 31st, 2025. You can see the total value up here, the cash of 24,000, the margin of almost 15,000, and these 7 funds that I own are down about 5%. You can see my largest holdings are in the roundtail funds with XDTE and XDTE. And I'll let you take a look here. You can pause the video and see the percentages. And in VU, I am collecting 30% of the distributions, putting them into VU for this year. And if I need that money for my overall tax situation next year, I'll sell it, pay my taxes. If I don't need any of it, I'll sell it and reinvest into these funds. I started this income portfolio back in May of last year, and you can see my progression through 2024. January of 2025 is in the books. I made $1,324 in distribution/dividends. And for February, I'm projecting $1,388. That is my guesstimate. You know, it's not much more than the $1,324, but that's because January had 5 Fridays or 5 paydays, and I have a lot of weekly payers, versus February that only has 4 Fridays. So how am I getting to $1,388? Let's take a look. Okay, let's go ahead and start with my roundtail funds, the QDTE and the XDTE. You can see the amount of shares that I have in each, but what I'm expecting is at least $1 from each fund, or an average of about 25 cents per week. For Misty, I have 142 shares. I'm throwing a dart here. I'm just saying $1.99 for the next distribution. Could be more, could be less. Then I have Coney with 200 shares. I'm just going to leave the last distribution on there at 83 cents. And then there's YMAX, my biggest share position. I have 500 shares. Again, 4 paydays. I'm hoping that it'll get 70 cents for the month, or I think that averages out to about 17 cents a week. And then I have Nvidia with 50 shares, which has been taking a beating this past week. And I'm hoping that the next distribution can be close to 70 cents. And then that goes for the same with Tesla. I have 51 shares and I'm hoping to get about 70 cents. So you take all those distributions and I'm thinking about $1,388. So through the month of February, I will be reinvesting those dividends minus the taxes. So I can probably push this over $1,400 for the month of February. Okay, so Friday, January 31st, 2025 was a payday, and I had 4 funds that paid a distribution. The first 3 are weekly payers, and then Nvidia pays monthly, and I got Nvidia to help support my weekly payers. But if you're new to this field here and this niche, YMAX, for example, I have 500 shares, and this week it paid out 14 cents or close to 15 cents. You do the multiplication, I made about $73. And you can see the same thing for the XDTE, QDTE, and Nvidia. You add those all up, and I got paid $223. So not a bad pay week for my small investment. And all I did with this $223, I did my self-imposed 30% tax, which is about $67, which left me with $156. And with that $156, I just put it all back into XDTE. It got me a little bit more than 3 shares. So now I own 178 shares plus some change. Nothing too sexy, but that's what I did. All right, this is the real deal. So with this screenshot, February 1st, 2025, you can pause the video and take a quick look at each position or whatever stat you want to look at. But for now, I do focus on every single fund. But the big picture is that I'm down negative 5.3% or about $2,200. Now, the goal is to be capital flat or appreciating. However, these yield max funds are challenging. So my initial first goal is to get to at least negative 3%. And I really would like to try and keep it negative 3 to positive 3 while earning those distributions. But Friday was funny. The market was going up positive in the green direction. And then all of a sudden the news broke about the tariffs hitting, and that brought me down for the day $113. My biggest loser was YMAX, dollar-wise at $55. Tesla did eke out my smallest position a little bit of gain. But anyway, I'm focusing on these numbers here, the percentage and the overall total gain or loss. But it is challenging to keep your capital with these yield max funds, but that's my goal. And now a quick look at each position. I'll let you just pause the video yourself so you can take a look at the stats, but I'll make it quick. Okay, let's jump to Friday, January 31st, the last day the market was open. This is a screenshot of the day's gain or loss. You can see again, Tesla was the only winner, up $7. It's my smallest position. But while we're here, you can see the dollar amount I have in each fund. If I were to add up all those amounts, you get $39,366. And top left up here, this net debit, this is how much margin I'm using from Fidelity, $14,815. If I were to liquidate all my positions, Fidelity is going to get their $14,800 back, and I'd be left with $24,551. All right, folks, that was my quick update. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.